Hello, Zach. Here's Jenny. I'm doing a survey about the effects of cultural effects on social spaces. So I want to ask, how long have you been in Canada?
Around 10 years.
Oh, that's really a long time. And do you think what's the difference between the atmosphere in China and Canada? Like maybe from travel mode or communication mode or any aspects?
Well, I would say if I want to pick one mode, I would pick communication mode because it's very different when it compared about the communication. So the thing is, in Western countries, especially in Canada, maybe I shouldn't say especially, but in Canada, everybody should be a little bit more polite, but just a little bit. But that doesn't mean. But that does not mean they have a good attitude towards you or they have a good impression about you. They're just being nice because it's more like a cultural thing. And in China, you may not get the same politeness towards everybody, but they more likely they will show their true emotion when they talk to you. So.
Okay, I got it. And since you've been stay there for 10 years, how do you think most Canadian people evaluate China and Australia?
Well, truth to be told, I don't think Western people understand China too much. And I don't think Canadians, they understand Australia too much. They just know these two countries are very far away from Canada. And the problem is, I think for Canadians, they should feel like people in Australia are more close to them, judging by the living style, judging by the lifestyle and the culture, the fundamental of the culture. And I think China should be a little bit strange to, not really strange, but a little bit unfamiliar to Canadians. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And how do you evaluate the relationship between China and Canada, and also Canada and Australia, from your own perspective?
Well, from my own perspective, I think Canada and Australia, they are allies. So I think they are all in Five Eyes Alliance, some organization like that. And so obviously Canada and Australia are more close. About China and Canada, I think it all depends on United States. So if the United States tells Canada, hey, you cannot be that nice to China, then Canada will do something that, well, the problem is Canada is not a large country in the world. So though it's large on it's large on geology, but it's quite a small country on influence over the world. So that is, Canada has to follow some big countries' opinion when they deal the affairs with China. So yeah.
Okay. And if talking about social spaces, which space will you think at first? Because actually, because actually we separated into virtual spaces and also physical spaces. So which one would you think at first?
I think when it comes to the social space, well, if we are talking about social apps, then the social space is really close. For example, if you posted something online and somebody will just point out something that he does not agree with, and then you will have an argument. But in real life, you will never have such an argument with a stranger when you are talking face to face. So I think people are more real. People are more straightforward when they are on social apps, on virtual social space. But in a real social space, everyone is having like a gap, so we can avoid the conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree with this one. Have you ever been to a library or a museum in Canada?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my school is having a library.
Okay, so like how often you go to a library?
Truth to be told, I'm not really a library guy, so I normally go there because I have a gap between two classes, so I need a place to take a rest. So library would be better because it's quiet. Yeah.
So is there any difference between Chinese libraries and Canadian libraries?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, the books in Canadian libraries, they are mostly written in English.
Yeah.
For Chinese libraries,
Obviously.
most of books are written by in Chinese.
Yeah.
And speaking of difference, because I don't think, because the last time I visited a Chinese library was like 15 or 16 years ago, so I have very light impression about Chinese library.
Okay. Can you find?
I can tell you what's in common. I can tell you what's in common.
Yeah,
the common thing is that there's always someone who's talking in library, no matter where they which country's library they are. So.
Oh, so you think there always be someone like ignore the rules in library?
I don't think they are ignoring the rule. I think they are making their own rules.
Okay. Can you find a book about Australian history or Australian arts in the library and maybe read the content for me?
Sure. So here is a book I found on my school's library, and the name is Australia. A New History of the Great Southern Land. And the description is quite long. So Australia, A New History of the Great Southern Land is a major new account that places Australia's history fully within a global context, drawing on sources from the United States, Britain, Southern Africa, and Canada, as well as within Australia itself. In the compelling narrative, acclaimed historian Frank Welsh traces the history of the land from scattered convict settlements to the formation of the Commonwealth of Australia in 1901, and on to today's thriving independent nation, exposing many national myths in the process. This book also explores the dark side of Australia's history, the long-continued White Australia policy, which believed foreign policy for more than a century, the still tortured official relationship with the Aboriginal peoples, the subordination of women, and the flaws in the constitution. Also examined is Australia's uneasy relationship with its Asian neighbors and its isolation from Britain and the United States, its traditional allies. That's about the description of the book.
Okay, thank you very much. And two last questions. Do you think culture has an impact on public spaces? Like, maybe people will like act different in different public spaces. And what are the aspects of some words, do you think?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think everything is based on cultures, right?
Yeah.
Without cultures, then we are just animals, right? And so if you are saying if culture is having an impact on public space, I think the question is a little bit strange because, I mean, culture creates the public, right? So if you are saying what's the impact, I would say, so for some cultures, you are not allowed to talk very loud in the public. I mean, you are allowed to talk loud in public. For example, in Japan, in the public everybody is sticking to themselves. They are not talking very loud, or they are not playing the cell phones music really loud. So I think this is a impact on the public space. And if you are going to the third world countries, and people are talking quite a lot in the public space, I mean, so and I think in some places you are not allowed to eat in the public space, and I think that could be some kind of impact based on the culture.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So now I'm doing an art project. I want to show the influence of cultural background on social spaces. So do you have any suggestions for this project, or let's say if letting you do such an art project, what will you do to present this idea, or which art form will you choose?
So I mean, this is not the project that I'm
familiar with.
That I'm having a passion on it.
No.
But if this is a project that I was forced to do in order to finish my degree, then I will first try to define the range of the project. Like, do I want it to be globally, or do I want to have it to reduce the range to one country? Because in one country there are many different cultures, because we have many different races, or we have different kind of people in the same country, and they have different cultures. So then I would like to define the range first. If I want to do it globally, then I need to contact different people from different countries, right? And if I want to do it not locally, if I want to do it just say within Australia, then I need to talk to people from different provinces or different. I mean, if we are only doing for Australia's culture, then the difference could be very there will be difference, but the difference are very minor. So we are talking about micro differences. And if we are doing it for different countries, then we are talking about large cultural gaps. So that's like a macro differences. So if I'm doing it, then I would define the range first, and I will do it accordingly.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if say you are doing our project from you want to show a specific social spaces, like for example, if you want to demonstrate library under different cultural background, what will you do to express this?
So in Canada, we have the Ontario province, and we have the Quebec province. So people in Quebec, they are speaking French, and the people in Ontario, we are speaking English. So obviously there is a cultural difference between these two provinces. And if I'm doing the project, I will pick these two, and I will go, if it's possible, and if I'm sponsored, then I will go to the university's library in Montreal. So Montreal is in Quebec, so it's in the French province. So I will go there and I'll take a look by myself. I'll see how they arrange the books, how their desks are placed in the library. And then I will come back to Ontario and I will go to the library by myself. And I'll see it by myself. I mean, the best way to do it is just to see it by yourself. Not, I mean, if you don't get the chance to see it by yourself, then you go ask other people, right?
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, got it. Yeah, I think that's all I want to ask. Really, thank you for today.
That's great.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day. See ya.
Bye.